Inspirational sports movies. They make you want to go out and do something. Except I'm sitting in a theater having popcorn and soda. Hey there, welcome to Movie Reedviews. And so today I'm going to review a movie called Eddie the Eagle. It's like this inspirational sports movie like I mentioned at the beginning. It stars Taron Egerton and Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. And it's like a true story that takes place a couple decades ago. So Taron Egerton plays Eddie Edwards, who is this kid growing up. He always wanted to go to the Olympics. That was basically his dream. Like, he kept practicing all these different things, like holding his breath underwater and running and jumping and just trying all these different things to get into any kind of Olympic event, mostly the summer ones. Eventually he realizes skiing and winter sports, that's his thing. And actually he does this a lot in the movie too, which is funny. But this guy really doesn't have any talent. At one point his dad even says, "Eddie, you are not an athlete." So, he basically just wants to prove everyone wrong. So he actually gets into the sport of ski jumping and downhill skiing. And, he's still not doing really well, so he eventually needs a coach who is played by Hugh Jackman. And the character's name is like Bronson Peary. It's this guy who used to ski jump back in the day, but it's kind of like a drunk now, and things didn't turn out the way it wanted to. So it's kind of like one of those basic cliche stories where the kind of like Cool Runnings. They actually mentioned that in the movie too. But the coach is like this drunken guy who used to be really good, but now he's getting back into the sport so that he can help Eddie be a winner. The plot is mostly what you need to know for this movie, because other than that, and the main two actors, which I think they have really good chemistry together, but that's pretty much most of the movie. And like I mentioned, the main two, Taron and Hugh, they play great characters, they do a really good job, and Taron's an up-and-coming actor. He's been in a couple movies, but I think he has a solid career ahead of him, and you get to see these two battle it out, like, Eddie doesn't want to give up, but then Bronson's kind of like, well, I guess I'll help this guy, I don't want him to die on the slopes. But then eventually he kind of gets into it, and he's like, I really like this sport, I really do want Eddie to succeed. And focusing a little more on Taron Egerton, like I mentioned, he's an up-and-coming actor. I think he did really well in this movie. He just had to be optimistic a lot, and just saying like, I'm going to try this, I don't really care what people think. And I know that's basically what the character was, like the actual guy, Eddie, but he had to take all those qualities. Maybe he watched like footage and stuff, and then he had to go and be this character. I thought he did a really good job. And then Hugh Jackman, of course, he's good in like anything that he does. He's just like that lovable guy, even when he's kind of like that drunken, out of work kind of ski jumper. And but there's this part in the movie where he had this like cigarette in his mouth while he's skiing, and it kind of reminded me of Wolverine. And a lot of the characters he plays are just like these, you just love the guy. So I think Hugh Jackman did a great job as well. There are some other characters in the movie which are pretty much just cliche for a sports movie. Like, his dad doesn't really want him to compete, so the whole movie he's basically just saying, don't do this, stop ski jumping, stop doing this. And then the mom's supportive, and then like other people from the Olympics are saying like, no, you can't do this, no, hey, get him away from the press, even though like, because he's being popular. Even though Eddie isn't a good athlete, he's popular with the press just because he's like a nice guy, and he's like doing his signature Eddie the Eagle wave, and it's just like a lot of people like him. So a lot of people in the Olympics were against him, and so they were kind of like one-note characters. So although like the main two characters, everyone else was just kind of like, okay, they're there. If you're on the fence about this one, I really don't think there's much to put you on the fence. Either you like these inspirational sports movies, even though they might be cliche and kind of have like similar plots, or you like it or you don't. So I really like this movie. I think a lot of people will too, because it just gets you pumped and like feeling good. So for me, 4 out of 5 stars. The main two characters are great, and it's a good, inspirational, heartwarming story, even though the plot's just kind of basic and the other characters are meh. Doesn't mean I didn't have a good time watching it and had some laughs and some tears welling up in the eyes. Yeah, I was able to sneak in another movie before 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I hope to see soon, so look out for that. And then also, tell me what your favorite inspirational sports movie is. There are a couple that I like The Rookie and Cool Runnings, but let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. You'll get updates on any reviews and other videos that I make. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.